Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bannermen YouTube channel. I'm Ayush,
I'm Ansel.
And I'm Yash.
and we are the Bannermen. And we are back with another fantasy football video. But today is something different. Today we're going to tell you about the basics of the game, how to play it, some key tips, and overall about player selection, chips, and how to use your budget judiciously. So let's get right into the basics at first. So I think you all must know that there's a 100 million bank to select 15 players from. And out of these 15 players, five of them have to be defenders, two of them have to be goalkeepers, five of them have to be midfielders, and three of them have to be forwards. And out of them, 11 of them play, while the other four on your bench, and they are subbed on in case any of your 11 players fail to play even a single minute in the game week. So out of the five players, it's compulsory to have one goalkeeper. You can only have one goalkeeper, minimum of three defenders, minimum of three midfielders, and minimum of one forward. And apart from that, you can tinker and configure the formation as you like if you have met these minimal requirements. So let's discuss the team selection now.
Yeah, so how do you select midfielders? As in, all five evenly priced midfielders are, I'd say, around 8.5 million,
Okay,
or
so
one premium.
yes.
And
So this year now many of the strikers are included in the midfield as well. Basically, players who have played at the wings during the last season are now classified as midfielders. Rashford, Aubameyang, Salah was already a midfielder, but yes, we have many players who are in the midfield.
Mane,
So the competition is immense, and I particularly go on two things: penalties and the position of the player. So I generally prefer someone as a number 10 one in the midfield. I avoid taking DMs and CMs, central midfielders, and I see the penalty takers of the team. So suppose, for example, if I have 6 million in the bank, I want to take a player. I'll not go for Conte, but I'll go for Jorginho because he's on penalty duties, and we saw that he gave some 8-9 points, right?
you got an assist as
Last
well.
season. Yes, he got an assist as well. So, but apart from that, he's on penalty duties.
Yeah.
And we have
yeah,
seen Bruno Fernandes since he has arrived at United. Like he has scored loads of goals through penalties, has got many points and bonus points. So I see penalties, but that is secondary. But my first thing is the position of the player where he is playing.
The arrival of the likes of Mohamed Salah has changed FPL considerably. Like he was classified as a midfielder and he went on to score so many goals. So now the trend, previously we used to have forwards such as Kane, Vardy, and Aguero. Those were the must picks in your team, and those would come in at like 12, 12.5, and we would prefer to have like 8 midfielders who would mainly provide assists such as Fabregas, David Silva, Santi Cazorla. But now the game has completely changed where your midfielders have become the most expensive players and they have become your goal scorers. Whereas
yeah,
forwards, you can have cheap forwards who would provide you like 10, 12 goals, but you go for that midfielder who you know will give you a 20 plus goal return. Especially with Aubameyang being moved to the midfield.
That's true. That's true.
yeah.
I still remember when Salah came, he was priced at 9 million, which was a bit of premium price back then.
But he
And
went on to
from
score
9, he went
32.
on to 11 million in that season. And then his price was 11.5, then 13, and then again 12. So
We
he's in
all
the
know
same
how
league
good
as
he
Harry
is.
Kane now.
Imagine getting Salah at 9 now, huh?
Uh,
A dream, bro, a dream. But okay, what do you feel about midfielders like Son, who are very good players and who can do
definitely worth
anything at any
considering.
time? But considering how Spurs have been and how they've played the first game, would you keep Spurs? Will you keep a player like Son in your team if Tottenham Hotspur play like this in the next 2-3 game weeks?
We have to assess that. So Tottenham have a easy run of fixtures relatively. They face Southampton next. Following that, I think there's West Bromwich Albion. So if they are unable to score more than one or two against these teams, then the danger signs are there that he can't play against the top half. Basically, he won't give. And 9 million is somewhat an expensive price because it might be 9 million now, but you can get someone like Ings in the forward line or someone like Dominic Calvert-Lewin for a bit cheaper, and they will give you guaranteed goals. But these are forwards, right? Son is a midfielder, so you can probably downgrade the Son for a cheaper midfielder and upgrade your forward line or upgrade your defense. So if Son at 9 million is not performing soon, then the signs are there that maybe the Spurs gameplay doesn't suit him.
On the contrary, I would like to say that I think Son will deliver now because with Regulan coming in, and we know he loves to run down the wing, and it will enable Son to cut inside to move towards the central area with Harry Kane, and yes, be among the goal scorers. And he has scored a lot of goals as well. So basically, he's the key to every Tottenham attack.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think
totally.
yes,
And he even takes corners.
Kane will be the top scorer, but Ali and Son will have a significant role to play. And I think one of the two of them will shine every game week. Like in a couple of game weeks, I think one of them will score big points.
What do
Apart
you
from
think
that,
about
yeah,
the idea of keeping the cheapest midfield for about 4.5 million in the squad and then spending the
Actually, yes,
money you save on that on other players, on other areas?
yeah, I think
yes,
the
So,
way
yes,
the game is priced this year, you need to have a sub 6 million midfielder in your team, at least one of them. Every team would have that. Now, the key is identifying which ones. You could either have the center midfielder who always plays but doesn't give big returns, someone like Thomas Suchek there. He's guaranteed to play.
Calvin Phillips,
Yeah, Calvin Phillips some needs. Like Calvin Phillips even popped up with an assist at 5 million. So these
but
are
he's
players
a
that,
defensive
yeah,
mid, so
yes,
yeah,
yes,
these are
his
defensive mids
returns.
that don't always give big returns, but they're assured of a start. So in case one of your main bench players they somehow fail to play that game week, you have an assurance that my 5 million player will come in and supposedly he'll give me the 2 or 3 points that he gets. So you have that assurity there. On the other side, people often tend to have backups of bigger teams who are cheaply priced in between. Now, the risky strategy with this is that fine, they like at some point during rotation, these players get a game and they deliver. But supposedly, one of your main players gets injured in warm up and does not play, and this guy also does not play. You miss out on all the points altogether, right? You get 0 and 0 again.
true,
So
true,
that's why identifying that player is key. I think someone like a Saint Maximan, he has great potential this year. He's only priced at 5.5.
true. Yes,
Newcastle
yes,
looked really good in the first game, especially in attack.
yes, yes. But actually, Saint Maximin looked very out of sorts in that game, and even he came on from the bench during the EFL game, and in the 20 minutes he played, he just crossed the ball once. He didn't take any shots against Blackburn, if I'm right. They
Yeah, Blackburn.
Yeah,
yeah, yes, Blackburn.
Melbourne.
So
Yeah,
I think he was playing at wings, but now like Newcastle are playing 4-4-2, and his threat has significantly reduced. But with Andy Carroll, we all know it won't take long before Maximin plays as a proper winger back again.
Oh, I personally had Alex Tetti and Martin Deroon as my sub
Yes,
5
yes, I
million
still
mids over
remember.
the years.
these
And,
are
they helped me give points where I didn't expect them to give. Like at Manchester United, in one season, Tetti scored a goal at Old Trafford.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yes.
they helped me invest in other areas of the squad, like strikers. So, yes.
yeah. These are your cheap enablers. Like they necessarily don't give big returns, but they enable you to take bigger players. Yeah. The
Also, okay,
thing,
so let's talk about particular teams now, the midfielders of let's say the top 8 teams. Let's decide over that. So from Manchester City, we know premium price midfielders in Sterling, De Bruyne,
yeah,
and
but
Pep's rotation
Pep
ruling.
roulette, Pep roulette. The
No, it's very dangerous to take any city midfielders,
outside De Bruyne and
and
Sterling,
Sterling.
like
Very
Sterling will
risky.
very, and both of them are so heavily priced.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
but they
worst
will.
is when you
With
have, yeah,
Aubameyang moving to the mid, I can't think of taking in Kevin De Bruyne or Sterling because you ought to have Salah and Aubameyang.
True,
yeah.
true,
At some
but
point, Pep even benches De Bruyne and Sterling. So
Yeah,
it
that's
was a
true.
risk.
That's true.
If
But I
only
don't
if
think Sterling will be benched this season a lot.
Ferran
Like if
Torres has
Ferran
come in.
Torres provides extraordinary performances, but I
but still you
don't see
can't take
him
him as
getting
well.
straight in the team.
Hmm.
But I think
And
Sterling
the
will
emergence
provide
of
the
Phil
more.
Foden is there. So
But I think among
even
Aguero, Jesus, De Bruyne, Mahrez, I think Sterling will be the go-to man for City.
Yeah, Liverpool, you can't look beyond Mane and Salah. Like these are the only two
yeah.
midfield options Liverpool has that.
Yes, yes.
Unless of course there's a change in formation, someone like a Minamino starts getting more game time in a AM role. But for now, these are literally the only two midfield options because the cheaper
Yes.
options are there, but once again they don't give returns. If you're looking for a 5.5 option who always starts, then someone like a Henderson is one you can turn to. but he won't give you returns every week. Maybe one or two
Exactly.
give you a
Henderson
return.
won't give you FPL points.
Yeah.
You
Mm,
can
Let's talk
rely on
about
Milner if he
Manchester
starts.
United. So about
Manchester
Manchester
United.
United, they
Okay.
have many
Yes.
options. Now
there
even
is
Donny van de Beek,
yeah, but now that
Bruno
Rashford,
Fernandes, Rashford is in the mid.
Greenwood is also in the midfield.
yeah,
Yeah, Greenwood as well.
Greenwood is someone I'm looking at, but that also depends on the Jadon Sancho situation. If United do end up getting Sancho, then there's no way Greenwood starts every week. At 7.5,
That's
if he starts every week, he's someone you can pick because we saw how good he was towards the end of last season. And 7.5 midfielder with those attacking returns over the entire season, he could easily be one of the best picks this season. But it of course depends on
true.
the market. Bruno
But then
Fernandes,
again, it is hard to look past Bruno Fernandes on
but
penalties, on free kicks, and
But if United
basically,
don't get the same number of penalties as last season, him at the 10.5 million price, he won't give you the same points, right? Because
yes,
mainly
he
his
won't give
point.
you the same point. But if United scores a goal, then there is a 70 to 80% chance that he's involved in it.
Yeah, Pogba
But
is
we all
someone.
know how United played in the first half of last season. So what if they have a similar start to this season? They have had no preseason. The
True.
players have reported to training,
Yes,
I guess,
yes.
on Monday. Yeah, if they
Yeah,
have a similar kind of start, I
Yes,
don't
personally,
think
I
it's
personally I won't take any United players as of now. I want to see like how as a team they are playing, and also they have
exactly.
Brighton coming up. The Brighton at Amex won't be easy, and then Spurs and Arsenal. I think they aren't far away. They're in the first 6 or 7 games. So
Yeah.
I would like to see for the first 2 weeks. I would like to see how as a team United are playing. But
yeah,
also as we talked about Sancho, so if Sancho comes to United, which looks very highly unlikely, but so another FPL headache with Aubameyang, Salah, and now Sancho will also be a premium priced player.
Yeah.
So would you be willing to take him in the team?
depends. Like
No.
first few weeks, though,
See,
we'll have to assess him.
because Salah is Liverpool's main focal point of every
We
attack,
saw what
and
Salah
we
can do
know
over the weekend.
his quality is just Mendy's
I
best
don't know. I have this
winger.
feeling, yeah, Salah is gonna have another extraordinary season, like maybe another 30 goal
Maybe
season. Seems like in hindsight for him, the form that he's in.
maybe missing out on the golden boot last time did anger him.
Yep, finally. Oh, he looked very out of sorts towards the end of last season. One of the reasons why Liverpool dropped off massively was Salah not performing.
Yeah, and he missed so many glorious chances, clear-cut chances.
Yep.
But
He
Salah
looks
and then
hungry.
Aubameyang obviously because he scores half of Arsenal's goals. He takes
Yeah,
penalties.
yeah, these
He's
two
just
are
everywhere
the
on the
top goal
pitch.
scorers in the Premier League ever since Aubameyang debuted. So
Yeah,
they will give you points. They will give you points at some point in the game. They will cross to the 200 mark if they play the entire season, if they are fit the entire season. So that's why these two, let's see with
Oh, and
yeah,
also
Bruno
about
Fernandes.
let's
but if
talk
we
about
have these two in our teams, we can't take another premium midfielder.
Hmm.
I don't
so
think
that is the
Sancho.
reason I think if we cannot take a premium midfielder, I would like to like shift my focus to Wolves. So Neto and Podence, I think
Ah, yeah,
they
Podence.
they
Podence.
can
Podence, he was a
give a
January
cup.
signing last season, and post the lockdown, he had some issues with quarantine. That's why he missed the post lockdown 4 or 5 games. But once he came on, even in the Europa League, in the 1 or 2 games he played, he looked really sharp. And Podence was
Yeah,
really
but
good
we
at
have the
Olympiacos last
Diego
season.
Jota
Also,
problem
yes,
there.
yes.
We
Also
don't know
rotation
that
looks
Jota will.
also yes. Also rotation looks unlikely as they have missed out on
Hmm.
a European berth.
Yeah, for
So I
now
Yeah,
I
think
would,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
But for now I would
Yes,
avoid
Raul
Adama
Jimenez
Traore.
is at wing back. Adama
Adama Traore,
Traore
until
won't
his
be that.
position like
Yes.
goes to the wing again, Adama Traore is someone you have to avoid. Podence is
Speaking of
someone that you can
midfielders,
look
yes,
at.
yes. Also, Everton now they have bought in 3 midfielders this window. Now
yeah.
all of the three are not that goal scoring threats, but Dokore
Alan once
Allen.
again, yeah, the DM option. He won't give you points, but he is someone who will start. So he can be a bench fodder, but he won't give you points for sure.
Same
James
with
Same with
looked
Dokore.
really
Dokore.
good.
Dokore is a box-to-box midfielder, but again, he won't give you points.
Dokure will give you more than Alan, but not like
Yeah,
not that great an
occasional
option.
goals like Kante, like when he played in the box-to-box
Yeah.
midfielder role last season. So Dokore will do in similar terms. Yeah,
Also, they have
James
bought
is
in
someone at 7.5 who could give you points. But I think with him, you at least wait until the first international break is over, because he will take a little bit time to settle. He's hardly played any football over the last season, and moving to a new country, he looked really good in the first game, but I think he will have some inconsistent performances. I would wait on him until at least the first international break before seeing how he performs and then deciding upon James.
Yeah,
That's true.
Someone from Arsenal worth taking could now be Willian. Willian ended the season on a very good high for Chelsea. I remember he was giving points week in, week out. He's someone who can assist, and the 3-4-3 formation suits him.
Yes,
Uh,
Ainsley, Maitland-Niles, and Tierney at wing backs. So they are a great. They are great crossers of the
yeah.
ball. Also, Willian will get to move towards the center with Xhaka in the mid, and
And he even takes free
in
kicks.
Partey. Yes, I let's see
Someone
what
to
as.
keep an eye on is Bukayo Saka. I mean, I don't think he
But
will
I don't
start.
think he'll start. Yes, and
Yeah,
same
I
with
think he'll
Willian. I
start
don't
more
Who
in
think
the
he'll
the
be
Europa League.
consistent because at some point of time Arteta has to play with Pepe.
Yeah,
Let's
even
see.
Pepe is there. So Saka's chances look bleak this year.
Maybe at left wing back more than right back.
Yeah, but then okay, yeah, he's
But
cheap.
as of Willian, yes, Willian will start. I think at a stretch for now. But maybe like Pepe will come in after game week 5 or 6,
Yeah.
and then he'll start a couple of game weeks.
One
So
team I'm
not sure about
excited
Willian,
about.
but yes, we can
Uh, One team I'm very
consider
excited
him for
about is
now. But yes,
Chelsea.
Um,
Yes,
Havertz and all. Havertz is
Havertz.
actually he actually has a very decent price at 8.5. If he settles in early and if he plays well, if he recreates his Leverkusen form, we ought to have him. He's a must-have then. 8.5 is very cheap for a player like him.
But at the same time, I feel why wouldn't you rather spend the 8.5 on Pulisic, who's proven himself 1 year in the Premier League? He
exactly.
was
I would
absolutely on
rather go
fire
for
when the
Pulisic.
season ended.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but
The
then he
same
has
thing.
this niggling injuries, and so we have to look out on that. And yes, yeah, Pulisic can be a great option as well.
Also,
Even
I think
Chelsea have
Havertz
some really
needs
good
time to
prospects.
adapt. Also, I think Havertz needs time to adapt. And Werner will be the main threat, obviously, no doubt about that. And Ziyech could be a good option because at right wing, I
Yeah,
don't think
Ziyech.
there's any competition for him.
Mason
Yeah,
Mount
and
for
he's
Liverpool.
at 7.5. 7.5 for a player like Ziyech is
I think
really
it's
good,
eight,
bro.
but yes, whatever it is, I don't think he'll face any competition.
Mason Mount, opinions on him? Is he worth looking at?
According to me,
No,
no,
I don't think so.
because he won't start regularly, and I don't think he'll be that involved whenever he starts because he's not the main man, and definitely Havertz and Werner will be at a greater advantage of scoring goals due to the
Exactly.
Correct.
playing position.
And
I think
over the
that's
last season, we saw Mason Mount. He came in, he scored, I guess, 2, 3 goals, but then he faded away. And then towards the end, he scored, I guess, 2 goals. Mason Mount is a typical playmaker who won't score regularly and who won't even assist so much, but then in FPL terms, he shouldn't be the one in your team.
so. I think this should cover it for this week. So we'll be having a weekly review and the tips for next week game week coming out soon as well. So in the meantime, please subscribe to the Bannermen channel, drop a like, and comment on one thing about FPL that you've learned over the years of playing, or a one point that you'd like us to elaborate, and we'll clarify your doubts in the comment section. So
Yeah,
I
Also,
think
also give your reviews on how did you like this video, and also your suggestions of what you suggest as an ideal FPL team of 15 players. And hit the bell icon
guys,
if you
we even
haven't.
have a Bannerman Championship. It's a fantasy league, and please do join that. There are a short
The
price
code
cash
will be given to
prizes.
you in the description down below. And we
Yeah, the
have
link
lots of
for
exciting stuff
registration
and prizes and weekly shout out for the winners as well.
for sure cash prizes and other prizes as well. And yeah, weekly
So,
alright.
shoutouts.
so I
So
think that's it for as of now. So thank you
Yeah,
guys for tuning in,
thanks guys.
and we'll see you all very soon.
bye guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.